Hi guys, I'm back, and in today's video, we're going to be doing the rise and fall of Roblox stores. So, Roblox stores was a horror game created on Sunday the 14th of March 2021. And the aim of the game was to beat floors, essentially, by dodging entities and using strategies and techniques. This led to infinite possibilities of how many floors they could do and how extreme it could be, and how many, if they could implement sub-floors instead of main floors. So, that is our first major point, sub-floors. I'll show you how it's the first major point in a second. Okay, so on the 28th of January 2023, the Hotel Plus update rolled around, adding new features, crucifixes, items, and even the first subfloor. With the Hotel Plus update came rooms, the first ever subfloor, and was basically in a 1,000-door maze where it was offices and there were custom entities, glitched entities, just like a cool idea in itself. And at the end of the maze, there was a tablet which you could use to track items in-game. It was honestly quite cool, and it was a very exclusive item as well, because it's not in the game anymore, so you can't even get it anymore, and I'm pretty sure it's deleted from the game. Not long before the Hotel Plus update, though, Roblox Stores hit its first major milestone, which was reaching 381,000 players for the peak player count, which is very good for the time, which was in December 2022, and they carried on, and it went well. In fact, at one point, Roblox Stores was the second fastest game to reach 1 billion players in 3 months and 2 days. Fun fact. Anyways, let's move on to the second major doors update, which was for April Fools, and it was called Super Hard Mode, which was essentially just like a harder version of the hotel with new mechanics and new entities and just a revamped version of the hotel with different entities like Jeff the Killer. There was even Fortnite minis. This update brought crucifix grenades, noob figure, variants of Russian ambush, and a very rare badge called Survival to Jeff the Killer, which you got by beating super hard mode, so all 100 doors, with the chance of seeing Jeff the Killer and other very hard entities. They even made a ton of new entities, like Greed, where if you pick up too many coins, he'll just kill you. Or Key, where if you picked up the key at the lobby or door 1, you just instantly die, and there's a hidden key in the room. They even overhauled Jeff's shop with a ton of random items, even putting the NVS 3000 tablet in there from rooms by getting to A1000, which is kind of crazy, because there was no other way of getting that at the time besides, the super hard mode update and rooms. And rooms was extremely hard, and getting to door 50 was not hard at all. So it would be quite easy, to be fair. I don't know why they did that, though. Due to the creation of super hard mode, this led to a ton of possibilities. Thinking about settings you could toggle on and off for a run, like having more of one entity or having less of one entity, or changing the speed of an entity, or changing how many of the entity there is. And this idea was called modifiers and was added in the next major update, which I'll talk about soon. Even super hard mode was changed into a modifier, so you can play it even today. A ton of the updates and stuff were turned into modifiers, like the later April Fool's updates and stuff like that, which I'll cover later, and, obviously I'll cover later. Yeah, but modifiers were a really cool concept, and they just thought, let's bring them to the game, so they did, and now I'm probably going to start talking about it in a second, but they just brought modifiers to the game, which is quite cool. Going back to the Survival of Jeff the Killer badge, though, it is now one of the rarest badges indoors and can no longer be claimed, as it was limited time for April Fools 2023. So it was really cool, and it was a good update, to be honest. Overall, I'd give it a 6 out of 10-ish. Yeah, but it was a good update, so I'm going to be covering the other April Fools updates in about 5, 10, 15 minutes into the video. So I'll get to it in about a minute now. But anyway, going back to the topic of modifiers, they could literally do anything. It was a game changer. Infinite possibilities were made just of thinking of that idea. It was such a good idea. Like, most players use it today, and it even helps you complete certain runs. Like, if you want to do like a certain run, like you could do it with certain settings or something like that. And it led to content, I guess. Anyway, the modifiers update was introduced on the 26th of August 2023, adding modifiers letting you toggle on and off settings to make your run funner or harder or easier. And you could do like an all-one entity run or an all-one item run. It led to a lot more content, and people were having a lot more fun on doors. So it kind of raised the popularity of it quite a bit. And yeah, people wanted to get all the badges for it and stuff like that. So let's just get further deep within the modifiers update. Even some of the newer modes were changed into modifiers, like the April Fool's 2024 update, which was a retro mode, where, well, basically, they added a ton of new content, they added a ton of new content. They made a mode where the hotel was, like, built in old Roblox editions, and they added new entities, and a ton of other stuff, which I'll talk about in about 20 seconds. So yeah, it was quite good, to be honest. I'll get into it in a second, though. Okay, so on the 1st of April, 2024, Doors Retro Mode, or the April Fool's update, was released, adding a shorter version of the hotel, which was about, like, I want to say 50 doors long. 50, yeah. And it added, like what I said earlier, the hotel was made out of pretty much just blocks, like retro kind of things, like the old Roblox graphics. It added new entities like the Draco Bloxes, and even a new badge called Survive the Draco Bloxes. And they were honestly the best entity of all time. They were well funny. It's honestly, like, kind of funny how funny they were. Kind of funny how funny they were. What? Anyway. Yeah, it was a really good update, was that, but it did feel like it wasn't enough content, and it was, like, they could have added a bit more to it, I feel. I think that's probably where the downfall kind of started getting a little But it wasn't even that bad of an update, so they always come back, to be fair. Anyways, along with this update, people really loved this update. I thought it was okay, but people absolutely adored this update, because it was the April Fool's 2023 one. There was a lot more people playing by then, and it felt like special in a way. They did do a few other April Fool's ones, but I feel like they weren't as good, which I'll cover later. And it just felt like it started falling off then, like doors entirely. It just kind of fell off once the later April Fool's updates came out. And I'll talk about them in a second. So, yeah, pretty much it kind of just went really well, the 2024 April Fool's one. It went as expected, it did really well, got a lot of players' attention, and yeah. Speaking of which, Doors currently has like 92% upvotes, and a lot less players than it used to have. So you can kind of see that it started falling off there as well. So I'll explain that later too, because I have a clip of that. Yeah, it kind of just fell off after a bit though. After the April Fool's update though, people felt like they needed a lot more content. So after a while, of doors making and producing content, they decided they'd release a new floor. Like, there was floor 1, the hotel, they even did the back door at one point and rooms. So they thought they'd release a new floor. This new floor was called the back door, and then they participated in the hunt event for a while. And the back door was essentially a maze going from -50 to, 0, and you needed to, hit switches to give yourself more time. Because if you run out of time, an entity called Haste would kill you, which basically kills you if you run out of time, as I was saying. And then there was Blitz, I think. Yeah, Blitz, who can rebound and, he can kind of come back. So once he goes past, Rushwood, he can sometimes come back, ambush, and just kind of stay at your locker, so you don't get out too early when facing him. And then there was another entity added in the back door called Lookman, which was, if you looked at it, it's basically eyes, but instant. So he'd take off, a fifth of your health if you looked at him. And then the things you got in there was coins, because there was a shop at the very end of it which got you the bottle of Starlight, and then there was a ton of vials and coins you found in drawers on the way, so you could loot them, get some Starlight stuff. And Curious Light, one of the 3 architects of guiding Curious and Mischievous, was there guiding you, or being curious about how you died. Anyway, speaking of floors, let's move on to the next one, which was a second floor, a second actual floor, called Floor 2, which was interesting to say the least, because players found it too hard, and it just felt hard to complete at first. It was only exclusive to people who completed Floor 1, so not everyone got the new update kind of thing. And it just felt off compared to the first time Doors was released, because when Doors was released, it got in, a lot of players, about a couple million, I'd say. This got in about 100,000 players. An entire floor update got in 100,000 players. In my opinion, though, a floor update was quite good. Floor 2, and, so that was quite good, to be honest. But, it was, honestly, and kind of the point where you could tell it was starting to fall off. It felt underwhelming, the update. If you hadn't completed Floor 1, then it was just pointless. You just have to wait another, 6 months for another update. And still, that update might not have been that good either. So, overall, though, I didn't mind the update. I'd give it, a 6 out of 10. Because it wasn't perfect. There was a few bugs with Floor 2, and it wasn't as good as Floor 1 yet. So, Floor 2 update was kind of mid. I'm not gonna lie. People didn't really find it fun. It was too hard and too harsh. It just wasn't easy. It just didn't feel like Floor 1 did. It didn't feel like Floor 1 ever did. So, it didn't bring in a lot of players, and you could tell doors were starting to die. So, they brought in a few new updates after this, but yeah, I'll keep going in a second. Wait. Anyway, going back to what I was talking about, the modifiers update, I said it added a lot of new content. And well, the next update after Floor 2 was literally called the Content Update. This update themed around bringing more content to the hotel, back door, rooms, and the mines. So, in 30 seconds, I'll get into it. This update added to rooms, it added glitch fragments, it added well, it added glitch fragments everywhere, really. It added a new glitch fragment badge. It added glitched rush, glitched ambush, and glitched seek. Glitched ambush would come about 60 times. Glitched rush would come twice, like he'd come and then he'd rebound once. Meanwhile, ambush would rebound, I swear, too much. And then screeched will be about 1 million of them, and you just have to get in a locker to avoid them. So the glitched part of the update was actually quite good. They even changed the tablet from rooms to a barrel of starlight, because it felt like kind of bad. So the content update released on the 20th of December 2024 and just allowed modifiers to be used in the mines and stuff like that as well. So you could have a lot of fun in the mines. And you could like carry over runs from floor 1 to floor 2. So like, let's say you finish floor 1, you go straight into floor 2 without just leaving and rejoining. And well, it was a good update. I don't feel like I added too much. Kind of. Oh, I know what it added. It added Sally. I added Louis, and it added. Who's the third new entity added? Sally, Louis. I'm not even sure what the third new entity added was. I'll get to it later, I guess. Well, Sally was added, which was essentially just a window entity at first. Where this creepy smile would like look through the window. And then the only way to survive it is giving it an item. If not, it just takes half your health and an item off you. You could also crucify it by making it pick up a crucifix, which is quite funny. And then let's move on to the second new entity. Louis, like, it's literally a rat in a hole in the mines. It kind of rhymes with Ratatouille now that I think about it. Anyway, Louis the rat was more of a friendly entity that you could trade with. And you'd give him an item and he'd give you something back, like a lockpick. He could give you anything. It was kind of useful, to be honest. So he'd help you in the middle of a run. And it kind of helped in a way. Because on one side, he, like, gave some badges. And on the other, he kind of helped during a run. But he'd have to give you something actually good to help. Because most of the time you wouldn't use what he gave you unless he gave you like a flashlight or something like that. Or a bulk light, which was quite good. Anyway, I'll move on to the badges. So there was 3 or 4 new badges in this update. There was 5 actually. There was 2. 1 for crucifying Sally, 1 for getting hurt by Sally, and 1 for running away from Sally. And then there was also 1 badge for crucifying Louis, the rat. And there was another badge for drinking the green soda that he trades you sometimes. Which is honestly quite an annoying effect. Because your screen's just like green for the rest of the run. Just green. For the entire run, it's just green. It's so annoying. And on the bright side, at least it kind of helped. Like, at least it made a lot more content because it made about 5 or 6 new badges and it made quite a few more after the 5 or 6 ones because it added an entire new category of badges, crucifying every entity. The crucifix category was a really good category and I speed ran it. I finished it really quickly though, quicker than Think Noodles to be honest, but anyway. I'll move on to the next major update, which was the April Fool's 2025 update, and the latest update as well. Well, latest major update. This update was called the Ranked update. They did a live stream announcing it, and it was quite funny, to be honest. It made me laugh and giggle a bit. But yeah, the ranked update was essentially just an update that was released, like, let me think. When was it released? Oh, I know when it was released. It was released. No, I don't have a clue when it was released. But anyway, the ranked update was an update where you raced players in order to, like, be the last one standing in a race. And it was quite fun. Because there was actual rank to it where you could, like, earn points for being first in the race thing. And then there was, like, a badge where you could show off your rank. And it was kind of funny, to be honest, because, like, it was a good update, but it wasn't expected in a horror game where you kind of walk through doors. And I feel like they should have just revamped the hotel again and made it more fun. I feel like those April Fool's update were a lot more fun than the ranked one. So, to be honest, I literally couldn't care what the update was. At least we got one. Because we rarely have one now. So, like, it's hard to kind of decide, like, if an update is good or bad. Anyways, let me go a bit more in depth with the ranked update. So, the ranked update was an update. Well, it was the April Fool's update, so it was released on the 1st of April 2025. And you raced players in order to be the last one standing and getting to a very high door. So you get guns and bombs and stuff like that to kill your opponents, and bread and stuff like that to heal basically every item in the game, and a few new ones like bombs and guns. So you could essentially just use the custom items. In fact, let me talk about the custom items. So there was the cardboard box. You could hide in it once, and it would let you hide from rush or ambush if you stayed in it. When you got out, it was just gone. And then there's the Desert Eagle, which would let you literally just shoot players, and there was ammo you could find around for it, which kind of gave you more ammo and obviously more shots to shoot players. But it didn't have great accuracy. It had okay accuracy, I'd say, but it wasn't the best accuracy, so I'm just going to leave it at that. And then the bombs were added. There was the big bomb, which was actually quite effective if you threw it in someone's path. You could just, like, absolutely destroy them with that. And then there was small bombs, which kind of were okay, but they didn't do a lot, to be honest. And then there was the last item that I want to talk about, which is the, like, kind of shock bomb thing, which you threw and then it just sent you flying, or your opponents flying in another direction. Anyway, in the ranked update, there wasn't just new items. There was new mechanics. And they entirely revamped crouching into sliding in the ranked mode. So in the ranked mode, the crouching was now sliding, and it was modelled off a game which was like, it was modelled off Untitled Tag Game. So if you've ever played that Roblox game, it's basically just that was in it. Anyway, the ranked mode and both the April Fool's modes are now modifiers, and during when the ranked mode was released, the elevator's like purple in the lobby, so you could just like pretty much just see kind of thing them, and you could just like walk into them, see how many players are in it, walk in. And a lot of YouTubers enjoyed this update, I'll give them that. In fact, I'm a YouTuber myself, as you can see. This is literally on YouTube. Yeah, but it was quite a good update. And to be honest, it wasn't that bad, but I see why people kind of stopped playing it after like 2 days. Because like it was kind of an easy update. All you need to do is spend a few days ranking up, rank up to whatever rank you wanted, leave, go do something else for a bit. And then after you'd done all that, it was kind of just a pointless update. It wasn't that big. Well, it was big, but you could get through it too easily. And I think this is where we start seeing the player base fall off. Because after that update, like a couple of days in, the player count was at like 40k. That's like 40,000 players consistently. When it used to get about 400,000 players consistently for about a couple months. But now, the game just feels like it's dying. I mean, hopefully we have more updates to come, but the Roblox player base, the Roblox Doors player base has seemed more dead than ever before. And I kind of understand why, but maybe there's some hope coming out, because there is 2 new updates that are releasing this year after the April Fool's one. One of them coming very, very soon, which I'll talk about later, and the other one coming probably later in the year, like near Halloween or something. Anyway, there might also be a Halloween update. I forgot about that. There might be a Halloween update, like after the other one I was thinking about. So, one of the updates I'm going to talk about in a second, but first we're going to talk about the Roblox player base in 2 minutes. So, the Roblox Doors player base. Let me be specific, okay. The Roblox Doors player base is kind of dead now, and it's been consistently getting like 10,000-20,000 players a day for the past like 6 months, which is nothing compared to what they had before. And they could easily be one of the best games on Roblox, because a game with doors and floors and rooms, it just has infinite possibilities if you think about it. Infinite ideas, infinite possibilities. It could be insane if they use their full potential on it. In fact, I honestly think it could beat Grow a Garden if it was in its prime and they actually did everything well. But I think they just need more of a team producing it, because it's currently just like barely anyone. It's kind of just like Elsplash and yeah. I don't even know though. So yeah, it's just like super dead now, which I'll kind of show you in a second, but currently I'm just kind of locked in at door 90, and yeah. By the way though, if you haven't ever played Doors, I really recommend checking it out, because it's a really good horror game and it's really fun. So, the aim of the game is just start door 0, complete 100 doors, dodging entities, etc, etc. They could go with infinite possibilities of that. Could you imagine the amount of different kinds of floors they could do? And they're already kind of putting that concept into play, which I'll kind of explain in 2 minutes. So, near the end of the year, for one of the updates, it's confirmed to be this year, because Elsplash, the creator of Doors, said that he's going to do 2 more updates at least this year, which is one, which is the castle, which is floor 3, essentially being like a really good idea, because it's like a castle, but it's 100 doors. Could you imagine? And then there's going to be the outdoors, which I'll talk about in a couple minutes after I've completed door 100. And that's going to be quite fun too, because imagine just playing in the outside version of Doors. You get to explore, and yeah, I think that's going to be quite fun too, but you'll have to get to like door 90, so you'll have to be actually good at the game to experience it. So it might not bring too much content, the outdoor update, but I feel like it'll bring quite a little. I bet people would like it though, like, overall, people would want to play it, so they should just, I don't know. They're probably adding quite a bit within that update because they've been teasing it for the past 3 months and haven't released a full trailer yet. They've only released a teaser trailer. So I feel like they're going to release a full trailer soon, and a couple of days after that they'll release it. But we'll just carry on and see what the future brings, I guess. So while I'm quickly completing door 100, I'm going to let you think about what could be in the future. Put it in the comments below what you think they should do, or could do, or are going to do. Just think about what they are actually going to do. I'll let you all have a minute. Okay, now that you've had a minute, what do you think they should do for potential updates? I think they could do like an attic where it's in the figure library and you can go back 100 doors, letting you go through another version of the back door, or you can go ahead 50 doors, letting you go up the elevator on door 100. Yeah. So that would be pretty cool, and there'd be like cardboard boxes and it'd be called the attic or something like that. You could find stuff in it, potential new entities. Be a pretty cool like subfloor or floor, even. And so it'd be pretty good, to be honest. Don't think I'd mind it. Yeah, but I guess we're just gonna have to see what the future of doors holds, and this is the rise and fall of doors. So, the fall. I'm gonna speak about that. It fell after about the Survive the Draco box, the April Fool's update, and the retro mode one. It fell after that because it wasn't a big update, was that? And then after that, the mines, it was a big update, but it just was too hard. I'm sorry. And they just messed up all the updates after that, and they just lost players, and it's not really popular that much anymore, but it probably should be, to be fair. It has a decent player count, though, but I feel like they just stopped trying to be competitive, and they didn't even enter the hatch because it was a dumb event. But yeah, there's not really that much more to talk about it. So I'm just gonna probably finish the end of floor 1, and then I'll get back to you. Okay, so now I've finished floor 1. Doors used to get 400,000 players. It was like third in peak player count at one point on like a scale. So it was really good at one point. A lot of people played it. It was really fun. But now it only gets 20,000 consistent players. 10 to 20,000. And it barely even reaches 20,000. It's more like 18,000 or something like that. But I feel like when the next update comes out, or the next updates come out, players are really going to like them. or players aren't going to like them. So, as you can see here, there was 18.6k players active yesterday, which is 18,600. The game has 6.7 billion visits, which is one of the greatest Roblox games in the world. So it kind of fell off a bit, but the Outdoors is coming out soon, so we'll see what the future brings for that. So, like, subscribe, share, and goodbye. Have a good day.